Okay, we're continuing with this book here, The Best of the West in Art, Music, Movies. We're on page 108. We're going to be talking a little bit about Roger Scruton, then a few things after that. He's a philosopher, historian guy. Here's a couple quotes from him because they're relevant to culture in England and Western civilization. He says, "Good things are difficult to create, but they're easy to destroy. Beauty is vanishing from our world because we live as though it does not matter." Yeah, beauty comes from Christianity. Other cultures, they stink at art. It's just a fact. Where are their paintings? Where are their sculptures? Some of them have a little bit of music, not that much. I mean, the vast majority of the good music that comes from Christianity, it's a fact. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, when you have Christianity, December 25th is Christmas, the most beautiful, best day of the entire year. When you don't have Christianity, December 25th is winter break. What is winter break? That means nothing. It's cold, it's bleak, it's a short day. Get used to it, because that's where things are going. There will be no more bright lights and all this freedom and happiness. No, the whip will crack and the slave will obey. That's what's coming. Okay, and it's so obvious. Anyways, let us continue with Roger Scruton. He says, "The culture of a civilization is the art and literature through which it rises to consciousness and defines itself, its vision of the world." Yeah, and we've got these modern art museums full of fake nonsense, and then our real artists who still exist, they can't sell their paintings. They can't get into the museums. Nobody knows they exist. That's one of the reasons why I did so many videos about them, was to let people know about them. Okay. Modernism in architecture went hand in hand with socialist and fascist projects to rid the old Europe of its hierarchical past. Okay? Yeah, they want to get rid of everything because they want to hide the fact that the vast majority of the great cultural, scientific achievements, artistic achievements have been done by heterosexual Christian white men. Okay? That's a fact. The heterosexual Christian white man is being rapidly persecuted. He's being scapegoated for all the problems of the world, and the goal is to destroy him because the billionaires who run the world, they know he is the only one who can maintain freedom. They know all the other groups are too small or too weak or too corrupt or too ignorant or too atheist, and not a single one of them can prevent a return to slavery. And the billionaires are pissed off. They're like, look at all these stupid morons, like a bunch of dumb farm animals, polluting the world. They lower the quality of the world and the life for the rest of us. We need to reduce their number. That's it. That's what the billionaires want. And so they're doing tons of things behind the scenes, and all the dummies aren't even aware of what's going on. It's not an accident. It's because they're, as far as they're concerned, the average person's a stupid farm animal polluting the world. Okay, and they have to be minimized in number. The herd has to be culled. Okay? And they know the white Christian man wants freedom and Christianity, but that's not compatible with culling the herd, and therefore he needs to go. Okay? And then what they do is they call it a coalition of the fringes. We'll stir up all the rest of them and just get them to hate the white Christian man. Then he'll get rid of the white Christian man. And then the rest of them, we can just do whatever we want to them because they're helpless without him. Okay? That's just a fact. That is how billionaires view the world. This has been in writing for decades and decades. And you can see it's been acted out. Everybody's a member of a victim group except the evil white Christian man, the guy who invented everything and made all the art and all the good architecture. He's an evil piece of crap, okay? That's where things are at. And, okay, so anyways, let's continue with what Scruton has to say here. He says, "Conservatives resonate to Burke's view of society as a partnership between the living, the unborn, and the dead. We do not merely study the past, we inherit it. And this inheritance brings with it not only the rights of ownership, but also the duties of trusteeship. The things that our ancestors fought for and died for should not be idly squandered, for they are the property of those who are not yet born." Okay, he continues, "Marxism owes its remarkable power to survive every criticism to the fact that it is not a truth-directed, but a power-directed system of thought. The core of a common culture is religion." Yeah, religion means relegare, to ligate, to tie together a people. "Tribes survive and flourish because they have gods who fuse many wills into a single will and who demand and reward the sacrifices on which social life depends." Okay? A writer who says there are no truths or that all truth is merely relative is asking you not to believe him. So don't. Art once made a cult of beauty, and now we have a cult of ugliness instead. This has made art into an elaborate joke, one which by now has ceased to be funny. When art becomes merely shock value, our sense of humanity is slowly degraded. Yes, you should be offended by modern art. It is an insult that museum space and money is wasted on fake nonsense that a child could make, and the real artists can't get into a museum and aren't known by the public. That's a cultural crisis for society, and the fact that no one cares, that's an indicator that society is in severe decline. Okay? All right, he continues. Many people under the influence of science, and particularly neuro-nonsense, will say the sacred is an old concept. It's just a hangover. But you can easily see that that is not so, because everyone has a sense of desecration. There are things that everybody values. And when these things are spoiled, they are not just moved or destroyed, they are desecrated. That's another thing. They're trying to rename all these schools and institutions because they're trying to erase the history of Christianity. They're trying to erase the history that a bunch of heterosexual white males made the greatest country ever in the history of the world. And they want to turn it into a third world crap hole. So part of turning it into a third world crap hole is getting all those names of dead old white men off of the statues, off of the schools, off of the universities, out of everywhere. Hide them from sight so that the new dummies that come along, ignoramuses, won't know that they'll think that it's normal to be a slave. It's normal to not have free speech. It's normal to not have privacy. It's normal not to have any rights. Oh yes, this is the best of all possible worlds, to be a slave. Okay, just a couple brief things. What's the second best ancient Greek tragedy story? The Trojan horse. Okay, how the Odysseus figured out how to get into Troy. Okay, and then sack it. All right. The next one is, who's the second best ancient Greek wife? Penelope. Okay. She waited 20 years for Odysseus. I can't get my ex-wife to wait 20 minutes for me. She would always say, take your own car or just get it over with. Okay, number 2, biggest chump in history, Guidobaldo Montefeltro of Urbino. Okay, he was the son of the Light of Italy. And anyways, he trusted Cesare Borgia, who totally betrayed him and destroyed him. Sad, okay, because he was actually a good guy. Okay, but number 2, best love poem, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways, by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, the English poet. The number 2, best modern male teacher, William Glasser, okay, after John Taylor Gatto. Okay, he's the guy that, I think it was the quality method or something, choice method. Number 2, best philosophy professor at thegreatcourses.com, Daniel Robinson. His courses include Greeks and philosophy. They're good courses. Okay. Well, William Glasser had said, by the way, for teaching was, don't ever make a student do anything that you don't think is useful. Okay. Don't force kids to learn anything that the average adult doesn't know. It's a waste of their time. You know they're going to forget it. He says making them memorize nonsense like a vocabulary list they're going to forget is like making them dig a ditch and fill it back in again, like Cool Hand Luke. It's a waste of their time. Let them study things they care about. Okay, number 2, best psychologist of the 1900s, Carl Jung. Carl Jung was okay. He was a lot better than Freud, but he still didn't go far enough. He didn't say meaning, as Thomas Szasz had pointed out. Thomas Szasz. Distinguishing feature of Catholics. Catholics love paintings. We love art. Okay, you go to a Catholic church, it's full of beautiful art. Okay, some Protestants do. A lot of them don't. They have the whole iconoclast movement and stuff. But that's also why other cultures stink at art, because they don't love it. They make up excuses not to like it. Whereas this painting, this is not even a good gallery painting. The picture on the cover of this is a much better gallery painting. I got tons of them. I got like 20 paintings of painters painting art galleries and statue galleries. I got more than that. Gallery at the Louvre by Samuel Morse. Okay, I think I included him because he's the guy who made the Morse code. He was also an artist. Okay, a little too much orange tint in that painting. Okay, the next thing will be the next chapter. We'll do that in the next session. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful because, we need to keep these things, free speech, etc. Otherwise, we're toast. It's slavery. The average person can't even conceive that slavery will happen. They don't even understand. It's already halfway here. Anyways, hope you found that helpful.